Hello friends, welcome all, I hope you are well. In today's training video, I will show you the trading tactics and trading strategies that I have told you so far, my friends. In fact, what do I pay attention to when trading live with you? I wanted to show these, but I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not very familiar with this subject. That's why I don't know how to add videos, how to cut them, friends. I just tried to do it. It didn't work. And since I usually go in and out of transactions in seconds, friends, I couldn't come up with that. On top of that, if I tried to edit them, it would end my day. I already make money by trading, guys. Now if I turn to this YouTube, I will be out of my own business. I cannot earn money myself. That's why, friends, I found a method for you. I traded with a very small amount that I put into my Binance account. I will show you them second by second. After that, how did I trade them? I'll show you the graph. I'll make sure you understand this, my friends. What I want is that every strategy one tell you is my own strategy. I am sharing with you the strategies that I have implemented and found successful. I hope it will be useful, friends. Nothing I will explain in this training is investment advice, it is purely for educational purposes. I already told you about the training I'm going to show right now in a 5-minute training video, guys. Now I'm switching to my Binance account. As I said, friends, there is a small amount that I have thrown in my Binance account before. It was $700. I put $700 to shoot this video. Why did I put $700? $700, that is, the number 700 is a very lucky number for me. Because when I entered this market in 2010-2011, I entered this market by paying a minimum wage. So I entered this market with about 700 TL. I invested a minimum wage here and my life was shaped after that and changed after that, friends. That's why I always do my transactions above 700, friends, so I complete my money to 700 and deal with those above 700. In order to shoot this video, I deposited $700 into my account. I made a trade with it. I will show you the trades I have made here, friends, and I will also show you which strategy and which buy and sell tactic I do. I'll try to explain, friends. Now, when we bring up my Binance account, as you can see, my buy and sell documents are shown here in the futures accounts. Let's see now. I entered a short position in ADA coin at 21.42, friends. And 21 hours 42 minutes and 53 seconds I closed my position at the 3rd second. As you can see, I have closed my position. In other words, an average of a 1-minute transaction or a 45-second transaction, friends. What I enter and exit happens together. Let's look at this process now. At 21.42, I entered a sell order, that is, a short order. At 21.42, friends. This bar, that is, since these are 5 minutes time frames, friends, since the strategy one have already explained is the 5-minute strategy, I will show this. Now at 21.42, I am placing a short order and trading on this candle. When I told you about the training video of this, I told you how to enter the long order. But what was I saying? When the price touches the line there, we sell out the coins, because we understand that the price will fall. Of course, since I entered the trade late here, friends, I entered the trade in this candle and I gave a short order in this candle. Afterwards, I closed my position again with a very small amount, took my profit and left, and this process took an average of 1 minute. When we look, I understand that price has entered the lagoon and stochastic crosses downwards at this bar. And it crossed downwards and I realized that it was going to fall, friends, and I closed my position. Let's look at our other position, this XLM, friends. It took a while, I could neither buy nor sell, I sold it again where I bought it. Let's see how much I gave. I gave a short order at 0.39516. At the place I sold it, I worked for almost commission. Here the money went to the commission. I have neither loss nor profit, let's look at our other cryptocurrency. I opened a transaction in Mana at 2041, friends. I sold the Monas at 2042, as you can see. I'm even correcting it, sorry. I sold it at 2045. So I sold it 4 minutes later, friends. I placed an order here. Then I broke the order, sold it on the market myself, entered at 2041 and left at 2045. Let's take a look at the Mana. I'm getting into the process at 2041, guys. This bar is closed, the 2040 bar is closed. I placed a short order at this bar. I gave a short order at this bar, but as I said, I left after 4 minutes, as you can see, friends, from the transaction. Because the price was profitable, the red bar came and I put a short order here. I got out of here too, friends, let me tell you this. The price I bought was 2.5635, the price I sold was 2.5612. I made a good profit here, friends. As you can see here, friends, I started with $700 and increased it up to $728 on average. I did about 10 transactions. I had some work today, I couldn't sit in front of the computer much. I traded during the day just to make a video for you. To show you guys, let's look at sushi now, guys. In the same way, I entered a sell position here, friends. I entered a sell order here, I sold it at 1936. I closed my position at 1937, friends. As you can see, the place where I sell is 12.29. The place where I closed the position is 12.25. I get out of the transaction with profit in a very good way, friends. Here again, I opened a transaction to sushi again. I have already opened 2 transactions in a row. Here at 12.20, I gave a short order again. I closed my position again at 12.17, friends, and I again profited very well. When we look down, friends, there is ship, there is keep, as you can see here. Now let's look at SHIB, where I gave the order, same way. I entered a long order for this too, friends. I made a long order at 0.5581, I sold it at 0.56. So, I predicted that it would rise. I entered a long order, and I profited very well from here, my friends. There are about 10 transactions here. As you can see, I exited the transaction within seconds, that is, within minutes. When we look at SHIB, I entered a long order at 1456, I sold it 4 minutes later at 3 o'clock. I sold the item and I made a profit of around $30 today with these transactions. Under normal conditions, I enter and exit 100,150 transactions per day, so I make 100,150 trades per day. And I just made 10 transactions here today, both because of my work and to show you guys. I have shown this to you in the chart. Now let's see how much profit I got from them. I entered a short order in ADA coin, as you can see it is here. And I got profit of around $5 from the ADA coin, but we can see the commission I paid more easily from here. I gave while profiting 86 cents, I paid a commission of $1.50. So I have $5 profit, $1.50 is the commission for it, guys, $3.5 is mine. As you can see, let's lower the page a little in the same way. For example, I gave a sell order on sushi. I paid $1 commission here, 83 cents over there. When I look at the page above, my friends, it shows too many because it sells piece by piece. Let's say $6 over there. Sorry, I'm correcting, let me show you from this process. This bottom process is very messy. I entered at 1936 and entered a short order at 1937 in a minute trade, and I have a commission of 86 cents and a half dollars. Here my profit is $7, so here I have a profit of $7, 6.84 and 0.16 cents, $7. I paid the commission with $7 profit, that is $1.50. So friends, it's around $6.5. I had this much profit on the same way. It is the same in the transactions below, friends. Now the profits are not seen very easily since it is divided into many pieces here. For example, SHIB has 4 here, 5, 6 here. I got a profit of about $7 in total. In the same way, friends, I have a commission of around $1.5. It appears here in commissions. Now, since I buy and sell from the market, my friends, it sells this trade piece by piece at a time. As it buys in pieces, it looks messy here. But this is what I wanted to tell you guys. I apply all the strategies myself I have told you. Well, why am I trading short, friends? Let me tell you first. Now, due to the nature of our people, we always want the market to increase, but I believe that, in my opinion, opening a trade to short the market, that is, in the market that will be declining, is more profitable than opening a transaction in the market that will be on the rise. I do this, my friends, I always go with that logic, and mostly my transactions are short orders. I don't enter long orders a lot. There are 10 transactions here. I guess I gave long orders for 4 out of 10 transactions. I entered a long order in Keep, I entered a long order in SHIB. I entered a long order in SHIB again. I entered a long order in Reef. If you calculate the trade that I made, it doesn't even take 10 minutes. In other words, the time I stayed in the transaction does not even take 10 minutes on average, and I earned about $28.30 in 10 minutes with the strategy one just told you. That is, if we multiply it in Turkish lira and calculate it in TL, it corresponds to a money of around 250-300 liras. What I mean is that if we stick to our strategies very well, we'll actually make money, folks. It's not impossible. Let's just know where to enter the trade and where to exit the trade. I have shown you my transactions, up to the second, openly, friends. Just to show you the following transactions, I deposited $700 into the account and traded with this $700 so that you don't have to worry about this question mark, our teacher Hermes tells us, but you should not forget the question of whether he applies it himself, friends. That's why I told you. As I said, I will not show you the strategy that I did not implement myself. I usually take a short position here because there will be a decrease in the market. Because we need to evaluate the market in both ways. Yes, we place a long order when there is a buy condition here and we think that there will be a rise in the market. But let's think about this, we can open a position for a downward decline. Let's take these into consideration as well. I hope, my friends, it was helpful. That's all I'm going to tell you in this video. I hope it helps you, I hope it changes your perspective. Nothing I tell in this training video is investment advice, friends. Financial markets, cryptocurrencies, stock markets, forex market all pose a risk. If you invest unconsciously, you may lose all of your money. Be careful. And most importantly, when investing, act very, very carefully and consciously, friends. Because they will really risk you in the future. In other words, the risk of losing your money completely is very high in these markets. So let's act consciously. Take care of yourselves, guys. I wish you all the best. Bye, see you in the next training video.